watching Channel 11, your Bloomfield community television station.
The variety in our back-to-back favorite.
I don't think I have to tell you that this is WUFR Talk Radio. But that's not true, because tonight we're WUFO. You heard right, because as all my faithful listeners know, this is the night yours truly, Ranch Rickard, is rooting the UFOs back to our fair county. This is the night old Ranch is bringing the alien spaceships right down gentle like in the WUFR, a WUFO parking lot. In fact, your Captain Midnight here ain't going anywhere until the creatures or the cows come home, whichever comes first. Right now, though, I'm going to take a few more phone calls before beginning my nocturnal vigil with some mindies and music, a cup of java, and just my lonesome. WUFO, Ranch Rickard here, you're on Talk Radio.
Ranch, this is Rusty, and I think you're crazy, you know that?
Hey, listen, old buddy, you know that and I know that, but do you really think we want the aliens to know that? No, really, like I said, I'm rooting them in tonight, and I don't think it's your place or anybody else's out there to give them the impression that this is some crazed-ball air traffic controller down in the WUFO parking lot. You understand?
Well, you know what I think?
Nope, and I don't care. Hello, Ranch Rickard here. You're on Talk Radio.
Ranch, I just called to tell you I think you have the sexiest voice.
Hey, honey, you know something? You ain't telling me anything I don't already know. So just turn on Letterman and get some rest, all right?
Ranch, this is David. I listen to you every night, and even school nights. I think you're the greatest.
David, does your mother know you're staying up late to listen to old Ranch?
Well, I don't even know where my mother is. Like, she hasn't come home yet.
Well, if you don't know where she is, I sure don't. Let's say I put out an all-points alert for her on WUFO.
That'd be great. Maybe she's with the aliens anyway.
Well, that last guy she went out with was kind of scary looking, wasn't he? Well, okay, if I think about it a little later, I'll put out an all-points alert for her, okay?
Well, thanks loads, Ranch.
WUFO Talk Radio.
How you doing, Ranch? This is Walker Kurtz. You played a song last night, something like Night Must Fall, Night Gonna Fall. Any chance you might be playing that song again tonight?
I think you had it right the first time, Walker. Night Must Fall. And I got it right here, so listen up, all right? Autry, what in the hell are you doing here?
Well, let's just say I was in the neighborhood listening to your show on my car radio.
I thought you told me you never listened to the station once you left work.
Generally, I don't. I mean, paying the bills around this place is punishment enough, especially your paycheck.
Come on, you know I'm worth every cent. Just check the latest ratings. Nobody's ever pulled in the midnight hour like I have.
True.
Well then, how about a cigarette?
And kill my top-rated nightman? Mm-mm.
So what brings you around? Don't give me that just happened to be in the neighborhood bit, because the neighborhood happens to be smack dab in the middle of nowhere, high on a hill and miles from the nearest McDonald's.
Rickard, How did you get so smart?
Practice. Practice. So what does bring you around? Even the aliens haven't been able to relocate the spot.
That's exactly what brought me back. The aliens. This latest harebrained scheme of yours to pump up listenership.
Harebrained, is it? The phones haven't stopped ringing at your radio station, pal.
I don't care. I think the whole theme is silly. Trying to coax some stupid aliens to land in our parking lot. I mean, who believes in that hokum?
That's beside the point, don't you think? The fact is, people have tuned in, and that, as they say, is how the game is played.
It's still stupid. UFOs are passé. Old news.
Hey, 21 years ago, something happened on this forsaken hill that even the authorities haven't been able to explain away, and that people around here still talk about. And tonight, something else is happening as we stand here jawing.
And what the hell is that?
I got a record that's running down to nothing. Go home and get some shut-eye, Autry, and don't you worry about the UFOs.
And that, my friends, was Night Must Fall. We played that one for fellow Midnight Stalker Walker Kurtz, who heard it here first on WUFO and heard it second here also. And now I've switched off the phone lines here, and I want to get serious if I can. You know, it was on this very night, some 21 years ago, that something very strange, very bizarre, and, to some, I'm sure, very frightening happened on this very mountaintop. And something that the Air Force, the National Guard, or even the PTA have not been able to offer a logical explanation for. An unidentified flying object touched down in this very area, in what was then totally secluded virgin forest. Now, some of you may scoff out there, but no less than 35 credible witnesses watched this strange rotating set of lights or portholes descend into the forest and then, inexplicably, disappear. Now, admittedly, most of these witnesses were miles away, down in the valley, but some, like Preston Cardwell, was no more than a half a mile away on the old dirt mountain road that skirted the hill when he saw what he saw. And tonight, Preston's promised to stay up and talk to us.
Hello.
Preston, this is Ranch Rickard on UFO Watch at WUFR.
Hello, Mr. Rickard. Nice to hear from you.
Nice to talk to you, sir. I appreciate you hanging in there tonight so our listeners could hear your incredible story firsthand. Preston, what exactly happened that night 21 years ago?
Well, I was driving back from Carpenterville in my poultry truck, and at the time, I wasn't all that familiar with the area. You see, I'm from Ridgecrest, and somehow I ended up on the old mountain road there.
You were lost?
I was lost.
Now, Preston, I don't want you to take this wrong, but I do think it's important. You had not been, shall we be saying, imbibing that night.
Imbibing, did you say? Mr. Rickard, I don't even know what that word means.
Well, all right. Let me rephrase the question. Preston, had you not been wetting the old whistle, hitting old grape juice that night, had you?
Mr. Rickard, if you're asking me whether I was drinking that night, I can tell you flat out, no. My brother Floyd died of kidney failure the year before.
Preston, please accept my apology. Go on with your story.
Well, I was driving along the mountain road there when these lights come on, flashing lights, like a highway patrol car, but brighter, much brighter, revolving lights. Well, I hit the brakes, and I looked around to see if it was a patrol car or something. But I didn't see anything behind me, or in front of me for that matter. Then I stuck out my head, and I looked up, and that's when I saw this thing, like nothing I'd ever seen before. This big, round, black, saucer-shaped thing with these rotating lights or windows. I couldn't tell which, and it was just hanging there, maybe 200 feet above my truck, no more. Well, like a helicopter, but making absolutely no sound at all, just spinning round and round and just hanging there like it was watching me. Well, then after 15, 20 seconds or so, and I wasn't timing it, it began spinning faster and faster until the lights or the windows, whatever, became just a bright blur, and the thing kind of just glided up and away toward the top of the mountain where eventually I couldn't see it no more from where I was.
And that's your account of it, Preston?
Well, there's just one other thing I want to say. I saw it. I'd swear on my brother's tombstone I did, and I don't care what anybody says about it.
Preston, I hear you, And I thank you. Well, there you have it. Straight from the source, one of the 35 reputable witnesses who remember well the incredible thing they saw descend upon this very region, who saw the flying saucer, the unidentified flying object, whatever you want to call it, land in our own backyard that fateful night over 2 decades ago. And so it is tonight that those of us who have elected to keep the vigil and who will be sending out the signal to our alien tourists await the return of those same visitors from some distant solar system. And what more appropriate music to accompany us as we stand century to the news story of this waning century than this piece aptly titled, The Visitors.
Mr. Rickard? The name is Theophane Duncan. You mind if I call you Ranch? Unusual name, I kind of like it. I won't take too much of your time, but I have something here that I think might be of interest to you. If my calculations are correct, and I think they are, I think this should do it.
Do what, Mr. Duncan?
Well, you've seen those TV commercials where a glass is shattered by sound? Well, the flying disc was seen landing here 21 years ago, right? But it was never seen lifting off again. Am I right? Well, if I'm correct in my calculations, the aliens have disappeared into an audio warp, the sound dimension.
You're now entering a dimension of sight and sound.
I know it sounds fantastic, but if you'd like to see my calculations.
Oh, that's all right, Mr. Duncan. I have a hard time adding my 2 creams to 1 sugar, so as far as your numbers go, I can't understand your figures.
Well, possibly not, but simply put, the aliens have somehow managed to reduce objects, even objects the size of their spacecraft, to their most minute particles, so that instead of shattering, they disappear. If I'm right, they've done it by harnessing sound waves, increasing the frequency to such an extremely high pitch that they're able to dematerialize physical matter. That's why they landed on this hill in the first place.
The radio station?
Precisely. Which at the time of their landing 21 years ago wasn't broadcasting 24 hours a day. At that time, the station would sign off at 8 o'clock at night, leaving its enormous kilowatts of transmittable power at the ready disposal of the aliens. At any rate, this control, hooked up to your equipment with a simple adapter, and put in this position, should reverse the process and cause the aliens to rematerialize. That is, if it, the spacecraft, and them, the aliens, never left in the first place, which I am strongly inclined to believe.
Yeah, and so am I.
Now, if for some reason you should have some trouble, and I hope to all Haiti you don't have to use this, but if for some reason you should, well, the control in this position should cause the aliens to shatter, just like the glass in the television commercial. Well, good luck, Ranch. I'll be pulling for you.
Well, thanks, Mr. Duncan, and don't worry. You can know that mankind can depend on Ranch Rickard.
And that was a nice little night piece called The Visitors. and this is Captain Midnight, Ranch Rickard on Hour 2 of Alien Watch on WUFR, rather WUFO. And for those of you who have kept the faith and the night watch with me, I am about to reward that faith, that trust, by taking the very first giant step in rematerializing the strange alien craft that visited our fair planet a generation ago on the very mountaintop from which I am beaming this broadcast. But before I do, I would like to express sincerest thanks to one Theophane Duncan, faithful listener and genius in all things scientific, who like you is tuned in to your humble DJ for this momentous event. For it were not for Theophane Duncan, we would not be witness to the fantastic things that are about to happen, even as the world sleeps. You see, Theophane Duncan has provided me with the very device that will allow us to communicate with our alien voyeurs. But before I turn the switch, I think the occasion calls for a little musical accompaniment. The piece is called Alien Nocturne. And now I turn the switch.
Orange juice.
What do you expect from a cable TV aerobics hostess? Orange juice is healthier, vitamin C and all that. 2 apologies and reconciliation.
What took you so long?
7-Eleven was out of orange juice.
I'll tell you something. I don't know if I can take this kind of distraction during working hours.
Then what are you going to do when they finish the television studio and I'm taping my aerobics classes right outside your radio booth?
Guess I'll either have to join your class or while the records are spinning or drink a lot of orange juice.
You really think that'll have the same effect as a cold shower?
After the other night, my dear, I quit thinking.
I lost my head.
Well, next time you do, would you give me a little advance warning, will you?
Me give you warning? Ranch, what was I to think when I saw that woman leaving your trailer home? You could have warned me that your ex was every normal woman's nightmare. An absolute dish, a walking heart stopper.
Why? Nobody warned me. Besides, do you think I like being banished to a trailer park? Besides, she hated orange juice. Hey, all right, you jokers.
Whoa, Ranch. It's Cliff and Richie, 2 of your faithful listeners.
Come on, you two sure in hell didn't come up here looking like a couple of the faithful.
Hey, you're not sore at us, are you, Ranch?
Yeah, because we're 2 of your biggest fans.
Yeah.
We didn't mean to surprise you like that, especially when you were busy with your lady friend.
Yeah, she's a real looker.
All right. You're sorry and she's a smasher, so I guess that about covers it.
No, we decided to come up here and tell you what we saw.
Yeah, when we were cruising up the mountain road, listening to your radio program, by the way.
Alien Night Watch, we love it.
Yeah, it's a great idea.
Hey, listen, fellas, I'd love to sit around and shoot the breeze with you guys, but I really do have to get back to the booth.
Yeah, we bet you do. Hey, Ranch. Hubba, hubba.
All right. What'd you see?
All right, well, we were some distance down the road.
Yeah.
We saw this blinding flash of light, like the side of the mountain opened up.
Yeah, but when we drove up the road to where the thing would have been, there's nothing there.
So we decided to come up here and tell you.
And tell me that there was nothing there? Okay, well, I really appreciate you coming up to tell me, but next time, would you guys come as you are? Because although there isn't a dress code on the show, why don't you save those for Let's Make a Deal, all right?
All right, well, it's a deal, Ranch.
Deal, get it?
All right, guys, you have a good night, all right?
Okay, Ranch.
Ranch, there's someone out there.
In the TV studio?
Yes, I heard something and I saw someone.
Okay, you stay right here. I'll go check, okay? All right, who's out there? You looking to do a cameo on the show or what? Who is it? You can come out whoever you are.
It's me, Merrill Autry, station owner, program director, respectable member of the Earth community for 21 some years. You couldn't leave well enough alone, could you, Rickett? Even after I warned you not to persist with your silly alien night watch idea.
Autrey, is this some kind of sick joke?
Oh, it's no joke, Rickert. I can assure you of that. At least not for you. But I've got to give it to you. I don't know how you did it, but somehow you stumbled on our secret and even made our spacecraft materialize momentarily in its hiding place in the hollowed out side of the mountain. And as you can see, you've even managed to temporarily return my own appearance to its original state.
Original state? What in the hell are you talking about?
You still don't know, do you? Then let me fill you in with the missing pieces. First, my name is not Autrey at all. It's Crocs Nos. Where I'm from will be of no consequence to you, since I'm well out of your solar system.
You can cut it, Autrey, Crocsnose, or whatever your name's supposed to be, because I've seen this on some late-night B sci-fi flick. You've come to Earth because your planet is dying.
It is amazing just how inferior the intelligence of Earth beings is. No, Rickert. My planet is not dying. On the contrary, it's thriving as never before. My mission on Earth is not one of survival, but of strictly an entrepreneurial nature.
So why are you here? To open a chain of fast food franchises? Or maybe to open a chain of drive-through video stores?
You are lacking in brain power, aren't you? No, Rickert. I'm here because Earth is a bountiful planet with its forests, its oil and water reserves, a whole host of natural resources that you yourself take for granted and squander daily. I'm here to tap those resources for our own, shall we say, commercial gain. You see, Rickert, I'm what you call on Earth a businessman. Strictly a businessman.
And that makes you no different than anyone else who exploits our environment for their own selfish reasons.
You're wrong, Rickert. I am different because I will have it all.
And just how do you propose to do that?
Your question comes too late. You see, this radio station was only the first of our bases. Now there are thousands of radio and television stations all over the planet, manned by our beings under my supervision, which was my master plan in the first place, to control your meager race through the airwaves, to subjugate your lowly inhabitants in the most inconspicuous manner possible. As they sit listlessly in front of their television sets, or as they sit in the middle of rush hour traffic, listening to the kind of mindless patter which Earth's celebrities, such as yourself, are so good at. Simple, wasn't it? And you, Rickert, and others like you on radio and television have been our unwitting instruments of conquest. It's just a shame that we have to start the takeover without you!
We've got to get out of here. We've got to warn the authorities.
No one's going to warn anybody.
That's right, Rickert. No one's gonna warn anybody.
That was a piece called Alien Nocturne. And this is Ranch Rickard on WUFO's Alien Night Watch. And I'd like to dedicate that last number to my good friend Theophane Duncan, wherever you are.